Hey guys, everything new under the sun. Well, you know that I've spoken on crypto news in the past, and here's an interesting bit. The markets have been down for a long time. There haven't really been any other news in the cryptocurrency situation or world other than they've been suppressed and they've been down and they haven't been up to anywhere near their highs, by as of the end of the year where they were. Great time to buy if you have faith in cryptocurrencies. I think they will go up again. Will we see the huge amount of increase as we did in 2017? I don't know. But this one's interesting. This is a Zero Hedge article. Movement in Tokyo whale wallet hints at more crypto chaos ahead. Basically, the story is saying that a large whale has 16,000 Bitcoin and 60,000 Bitcoin cash and they moved it to some wallets basically so that they can put them on the markets and start doing something with them, sell them off effectively. This could mean a massive drop or at least a huge volatility in Bitcoin and general cryptocurrency markets going forward. What I think is the other thing that is imminent is an economic collapse. And this sort of thing could lead to that. As you have volatility in one market, you'd have volatility in another market. And if you have a crash in cryptocurrencies, you could see a crash in the real markets as well, or vice versa. If recent history is any guide, crypto traders should be bracing for some serious volatility in the price of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Now, I don't like Bitcoin myself, but it has made some people a lot of money. It goes on, and no, it won't be David Tepper's tepid, no pun intended, assessment of crypto's value. Rather, as the Next Web's crypto vertical pointed out, the Mt. Gox bankruptcy trustee, who has in the past denied that his trades had any impact on the price of Bitcoin, even though his trades almost exactly correspond to some of the largest dips in recent months, has moved 16,000 Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash to two separate wallets. A decision the TNW says is a sign of another impending dump on the markets, and that means you're going to see the price absolutely crash as supply and demand occurs, and you have a huge amount of supply, and so demand's going to go down because there's going to be it's going to fulfill everybody's want for cryptos, and it's going to cause the price to drop down. So it's a couple of images there of the actual transactions. For what it's worth, TNW wasn't able to confirm that the accounts are attached to an exchange, something that would firm up the thesis that more sales are imminent. However, it goes on, it did point out that this is the first time that Mt. Gox trustee Nabuka Kobayashi has moved any coins from the Mt. Gox wallet since February. And so many people see this as an imminent sort of price lowering. In a recent report released back in March, so-called Tokyo Whale revealed that he had sold roughly 400 million worth of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash beginning late last year and ending in February. But despite the unprecedented crash in Bitcoin experienced during the first quarter, Kobayashi insisted in the report that his selling had nothing to do with the negative price activity. I mean, when you dump so many coins on the market, you know it's going to cause them to go somewhere. And when you're dumping coins in the market, the price of those coins go down because there's lots of supply for everybody, basically. So describing the claim as specious would be almost too charitable. Instead, by offering this explanation, Kobayashi picture below is probably engaging in some badly needed CYA, given that he's obligated to sell the coins at the best price possible to help reimburse Mt. Gox customers who lost everything when the exchange collapsed in 2014. Those same customers should at least have some hope that they might be made whole, or at least partly whole, after years of waiting. And that's kind of the article from Zero Hedge. But the suggestion obviously is that there's going to be a significant drop. So stay tuned for this. I haven't even been following Jason for myself recently. I've fallen out with him a little bit. He makes fun of Christians all the time, and now he's just getting into psychics and all these sorts of things, which I don't doubt have some credibility to them, but it's credibility maybe through demonic influence, and so that part of it I don't appreciate and I don't want to listen to. Regardless, I mean, he even hasn't had a ton of our videos out recently just because there's been no news in crypto. I mean, they've just been going downhill the whole time. Bad news, bad news, bad news. And nothing has really happened on the gold and silver front either. I think gold went up a little bit, and silver was making a slight move up, but nothing huge. And I think we're in the last days where gold and silver, honestly, probably won't make much difference. In the short term, in the next couple of years, you may be able to pay off some debts, but ultimately, I don't think we're going to be here that much longer. So, I mean, you could pay off debts, but what does that do? Because we're not going to be here for the next 50, 80 years. I think, quite literally, the world is on a timeline. I think we have about 10 years left. And I go through that in several of my other videos, Timeline of the Return of the Lord, where I speak to 2028 as being the official second coming, and then the rapture happening sometime before that. And I think we're on a very abbreviated timeline where I think there's probably only 3 years left before the 7-year tribulation starts. And some of these big prophetic battles are coming down the pipe, and I think they're going to cause a complete and total economic collapse, which takes Western powers out of the picture and sets up the world for a world government, and sets up the Middle East to be the center stage, if you will, for the massive prophetic battles that are to come, Isaiah 17, Ezekiel 38. I think all these things with cryptocurrencies, I think these are all playing into it, and I think, any time now, imminently, we're going to see a complete and total economic collapse, which takes all Western governments out of any sort of geopolitical or military play, takes them out of a position to go against some of the big countries mentioned in Ezekiel 38. Otherwise, how else do you explain no Western countries really being mentioned in end-time prophecy? And then you look at the economy, you look at cryptocurrencies, you look at the debt, etc. around the world, and you see, yeah, this could all come together, and this could play out exactly like that. Worldwide economic collapse, leaving standing only the dictatorships, only the countries that are communist, only the countries that rule but through their military, and where the people are poor and they can't do anything otherwise. And the militaries are left standing of those particular countries, whereas Western governments just completely collapse and civilization collapses effectively. I believe that's coming very soon. It may not happen for a year or two, but it's imminent. It could happen at any time that all the pieces are in place and ready to go. And so get your heart right with Jesus Christ, because he's coming back soon. Food, money, gold, silver, cryptos, none of this may matter ultimately, because our time is so short on this earth, and some of the big events are about to occur. Thanks for watching, guys. Look up, for your redemption draws nigh.